So, folks, one of the things that we are going to have to deal with at some point uh, in the future, now ish, from here on out, I guess, is the reality that Silicon Valley has essentially been captured by conservative ideology. And it has radicalized them and isolated them and turned them into monsters. And I'm not really exaggerating here. Gil Duran has a really good book coming out in the near future, I believe, titled "The Nerd Reich," which is basically about this conservative capture of Silicon Valley, which is made possible by the fact that they are all essentially speculative businessmen. Like, that's mostly what they are. And that wealth and that system of concentrating wealth has isolated them from the rest of society and their fellow human beings. And that's a really big issue because it leaves room for the radicalization to take place. Isolation is where that thrives. Well, Gil Duran, again, author of The Nerd Reich, also puts out pieces over on his website of the same name. And this one in particular caught my eye because it's genuinely an indicator of how broken these men are. Joe Lonsdale calls for public hangings. This was 2 days ago. Joe Lonsdale, a billionaire member of the PayPal mafia, who is also a co-founder of Palantir, wants to return to draconian punishment and public executions in the United States. He wrote yesterday on X, "If I'm in charge later, we won't just have a 3 strikes law, we will quickly try and hang men after 3 violent crimes. And yes, we will do it in public to deter others. Our society needs balance. It's time to bring back masculine leadership to protect our most vulnerable." And let me tell you, none of these guys understand what they're playing with, essentially. Like, they all think of themselves as if the isolation that they have as a result of their economic positions is something that is permanent, is something that is completely impermeable. And like, the reality is they're human beings just like the rest of us. And it's what's baffling to me is that they think they can just go around and be like, yeah, no, we should just bring back public executions in like stadiums, and that will definitely deter people from doing crime. Look, they don't care. They don't care about like what the facts are. They live in their own little bubbles. It doesn't matter that sociologists have long ago debunked the idea that like public executions deter crime. If anything, public executions just encourage crime to get worse, largely because if someone believes that they might be at risk of an execution if they get caught, they're going all in. They go big or go home, as it were. And it doesn't really work. But that doesn't matter to these guys because it's all about this LARP where they think that they are just free from all consequences. And they think that each one of them, independently, individually, believes that they would make the perfect despot. They would make the perfect absolute monarch. They would make they would be the perfect fascist leader. Each one of them thinks that. That's why each one of these people aspires to have and fulfill the idea of Balaji Srinivasan's the network state, which is essentially, again, I've talked about this a lot. We'll have to dive into Balaji's work again in the future. I don't feel like I've covered it nearly enough. But essentially, the network state is the idea that these billionaires can go and use their power and use their wealth to secure a zone of influence. And that could be in an existing country or in some kind of unclaimed area of the globe. And with their power and influence, shape the laws and dictate what happens within these little capitalistic paradises, right? This is what they tell themselves. And those states would then be networked with one another to form kind of like this independent set of city states that can all work together to kind of grow the network, as it were. And it's basically a plan for a decentralized fascistic takeover of the world. It's not a very good plan, but they are out there outright stating it and trying to bring it about. Again, one example of this recently would be Peter Thiel was trying to get Donald Trump to annex Greenland, to basically just seize Greenland and give it over to Peter Thiel and various other corporate interests. But Peter Thiel was interested in like having a network state there. Another example of this would be Prospera, which is in Honduras, I believe. It's either Honduras or Ecuador. But it was why Donald Trump had such a vested interest in the political elections. Let me just look here. It's in Honduras. It's why Donald Trump had like a guy the US government was backing in Honduras in their elections. It was Peter Thiel's idea. Yeah, all of these people are getting their ideas from these billionaires. And the billionaires have basically purchased front row seats to influence this administration. So Peter Thiel, major player. Palmer Luckey, major player. A bunch of the folks around like these gigantic companies. Elon Musk, even though he's left government, still a major player. He's just doing it from a more distant, capacity. And a lot of these folks are just trying to solidify their power base. Especially if they're like AI bros, right? It is all just would-be strongmen playing at nation building. For them, it's like they loaded up a Civilization game, like Civilization 7 game, and they're like, well, I have the best strat. Except they're trying to do it in real life. Like, that's the thing. Real people are actually going to live and die at the whims of these overgrown man-children who've been gifted, billions of dollars through chance and circumstance. And they all think that it's because of they're skilled. And I just want to point out something to you guys about this story about Lonsdale, right? One of the important aspects of this story is that he is a billionaire who's a member of the PayPal Mafia. And that is a reference to a bunch of these tech entrepreneurs who got together and made PayPal. And I want to point out that PayPal is not actually that interesting or smart of an idea. It's just, what if we had a bank and it was online? The same way Amazon is, what if we had a marketplace that was online? Like, what if we had a bookstore that was online, for that matter? It's just a bunch of people saying, what if we did insert business that is traditionally brick and mortar online? That's it. And they all think that they're geniuses. Yeah, none of them made this. And in the vast majority of cases where people actually had any tech or coding skills, they long ago stopped using any of those skills. They had money, from their parents, they invested it into these companies, paid other people to do the work, and then they're heralded as like these visionary heroes. They're just speculative investors at best. And like, understand, this isn't like this man is just so brilliant, he's a member of the PayPal Mafia. This guy thinks that he's brilliant because of luck and circumstance, and then is going out and saying, you know what, I'm so brilliant, I think we should bring back public executions in the face of all actual material evidence that it does not help deter crime, because it will make our society more manly. And that's really fucking stupid. It's really, really stupid that people should die for your ego. because you want to seem more manly? Like, I'm sorry, if you want to feel more manly, you don't get to go out and just murder people. That's not how this works. I don't know how to, I don't know how to state it more bluntly than that. Yeah, no, we need to protect our most vulnerable by putting them into desperate economic circumstances and then killing them if they get out of line. No, like, guys, too many of these men are busy, like, just completely disconnected from reality, and not a single one of them has cracked open a history book and read about what happened when people en masse rose up against folks who thought they could be absolute monarchs on the basis of bullshit. It didn't go well for the monarchs. And, like, those were people who were raised from birth to have the skill set necessary to govern absolutely. It did not go well for them. So, I don't know. I would encourage every person in Silicon Valley to stop reading the bullshit peddled by Mencius Moldbug or Balaji Srinivasan, or watching and sharing around the videos of What If Alt Hist. Instead, crack open an actual history book. Read about why those monarchies did not work. Turns out it had some pretty big problems there that you have not solved. And even if you did, it would not be good for the vast majority of people who aren't you. Why read when you can just chat GPT? I mean, that's the other thing, Snoogan. Like, all of these tech bros are using chat GPT, and it's making them dumb, and it's making them conspiratorial, and it's literally rotting away their ability to feel empathy for other human beings. Like, they are genuinely rotting their brain. Keep in mind, ChatGPT makes you less intelligent and less able to identify with other human beings. It is mentally isolating for you while reaffirming your craziest beliefs. But Jack, those people aren't me. Well, let me tell you, when you have the amount of power these people have, and you try and use it to control those other people are going to make themselves your problem. And I think that these tech bros don't really understand that. They're not interested in improving things or stopping crime. They're lying. They want to see and cause suffering. Well, of course. They want to see and cause suffering that directly benefits them, right? Like, they want to enrich themselves, even if it means seeing and causing suffering, right? They aren't interested in improving any of these things. But that's what they tell themselves. They tell themselves, yes, if I was in charge, everything would be better. And, the society would flourish and whatnot. They delude themselves because their lives are delusions, only made possible by the extraordinary excess of late-stage capitalism. So anyway, folks, we should probably do something about these folks. Maybe tax them so they are no longer billionaires. Rehabilitate them into the working class. Some things like that. And if you're interested in perhaps reclaiming our society from the grip of these out-of-touch, hopeless man-babies, perhaps you should join your local Dems, join your local DSA, and organize. Because our future is for us to dictate, not for some man-baby who invented VR headsets. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think that guy has a right to dictate, like, how you live your life. So organize. We start at the grassroots, we build up power, we build bigger and bigger networks, and then we win. That is how organizing works. That is the name of the game. Radicalize your local Democrats, make your local DSA more effective, bring the two together, and let's steamroll these clowns who would be our kings. And if you like this video, got anything out of it, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. And also, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie, designed by my partner, from the ground up for trans femmes. And, though cis men and cis women can also wear it, it is non-tucking lingerie. And everyone who has tried it seems to very much enjoy it. as well as a bunch of, and really just anyone who wants to feel found. So all that being said, check that out. Link should be down in the doobly-doo, and I'll see you all real soon.
Durable Deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Viva Jack.